Have you ever walked past an old, abandoned house and felt like someone was watching you? That creepy, prickling sensation on the back of your neck? Well, in a quiet suburban town, there's a house that takes that feeling to a whole new level. It's a story that has haunted the local community for decades. A chilling tale known simply as the old lady at the window. The house itself is a relic of a bygone era. Peeling paint, boarded up windows, and a yard so overgrown it looks like nature is trying to swallow it whole. It's been officially vacant for over 30 years. Records show the last owner, a woman named Elara Vance, passed away inside the house, alone, with no family to claim the property. Since then, it has stood empty, a silent monument to a life forgotten. Or has it? That's where the stories begin. It started with whispers. Little rumors pass between neighbors. People walking their dogs or kids riding their bikes would swear they saw something in the upstairs window, one facing the street. A flicker of movement, a shadow. But as time went on, the sightings became more specific, more unsettling. Multiple people, complete strangers to each other, started reporting the same thing. They'd look up at that dark, grimy window and see the faint silhouette of an old woman. They described her as having silver hair tied up in a bun, a high-colored dress, and a posture that was frail but eerily still. She would just stand there, motionless, looking out at the world passing by. Some said her expression was sad. Others said it was blank. But everyone agreed on one thing. It was terrifyingly real. One of the first widely circulated accounts came from a mail carrier named Tom. He'd had the route for years and knew the history of every house on the block. One afternoon, while delivering mail to the house next door, he got that familiar feeling of being watched. He glanced up at the abandoned Vance house, and his blood ran cold. There she was, clear as day, standing in the window. He said he could see the lace on her collar. He blinked, thinking his eyes were playing tricks on him, but she was still there. He quickly finished his route, his heart pounding in his chest. He told everyone at the post office, and soon the story spread like wildfire. Of course, there were skeptics, teenagers, fueled by bravado, dared each other to get a closer look. One group decided to sneak onto the property one night. Armed with flashlights and a cheap camcorder, they crept through the tangled weeds, their footsteps muffled by the overgrown lawn. As they approached the house, the air grew cold, and a strange silence fell over the area. Even the crickets stopped chirping. They pointed their flashlights at the upstairs window, but it was empty. Relieved, they started laughing and joking, their fear turning into cocky disappointment. That's when it happened. The flashlight beam of one of the boys flickered across the window again, and for a split second, they all saw her. Not just a silhouette, but a pale, gaunt face staring down at them, her eyes like dark, empty pits. They screamed and ran, dropping the camera in their haste. When they finally dared to retrieve it the next day, the footage was corrupted, showing nothing but static. The police were called multiple times over the years. Concerned neighbors would report a trespasser, convinced someone was squatting in the old house. Each time, officers would break the seal on the door, sweep the entire property, and find nothing. The house was always empty. Dust lay thick on every surface, undisturbed for decades. The windows were caked with so much grime from the inside that it was a miracle anyone could see anything through them at all. Yet, the reports continued. One officer, a veteran nearing retirement, decided to do some digging into the old town archives. He wanted to understand who Elara Vance was. He discovered she had been a recluse. After her husband passed away in a tragic accident, she withdrew from the world. Neighbors from that time recalled that she would spend her days sitting by that very window, watching the world go on without her. It was her only connection to the outside. The officer found a faded photograph of Elara from her later years. The resemblance to the figure people were seeing was uncanny. It was her. This discovery only deepened the mystery. Was it a collective delusion? A local myth that had taken on a life of its own? Or was the lonely spirit of Elara Vance truly trapped in her home, destined to forever watch the world from her window? A paranormal investigation team even got involved. They set up their high-tech equipment, MF meters, thermal cameras, audio recorders, and spent a full night in the house. Their findings were baffling. The EMF meters went wild near the upstairs window, spiking for no apparent reason. The thermal camera captured a recurring cold spot in that exact location, a human-shaped patch of air significantly colder than its. But the most chilling piece of evidence came from the audio recorders. When they filtered out the background noise, they could hear a faint, almost inaudible sound. A woman softly humming a melancholic tune. So, what do the locals think now? Some avoid that side of the street altogether. Others treat it as a quirky, spooky landmark. Parents tell the story to their children as a cautionary tale. But for those who have seen her, for those who have looked up and met the gaze of the old lady at the window, it's not just a story. It's a haunting reality. They'll tell you that the house isn't empty. It's just that its only resident has been waiting by the window for 30 years, watching and waiting. What do you think? Is it a trick of the light? A figment of a town's collective imagination? Or is Elara Vance still there? Sometimes, the loneliest souls are the ones that can't seem to leave. The next time you pass an old, forgotten house, take a moment to look up at the windows. You never know who might be looking back. Thanks for watching. If you have any similar stories from your hometown, I'd love to hear them in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more dives into the unexplained. Stay safe out there.